Minneapolis. We got some big action happening in Minneapolis now, I suppose. Thanks to the schizophrenic video made by this known propagandist, Nick Shirley. We'll get to eventually what he's talking about here, because he is justifying something that is broadly indefensible. Incredibly fucking indefensible, but I digress. I wouldn't expect anything else from Nick Shirley. He essentially made it such that not only the administration froze a bunch of federal funding for childcare to a bunch of blue states, because apparently there's a bunch of fraud happening in there. Any evidence for that? No. Did Nick Shirley add any evidence to that? No. He added nothing to the current DOJ investigation that was started under Joe Biden, looking into the fraud problems that is happening within Minnesota in its, child care system. So, the investigation's already happening. It's producing indictments. It's producing a bunch of differing evidence and everything. This motherfucker added nothing. Again, I do this analogy, this comparison consistently. This guy is basically no different than the pedo hunters on YouTube, where there are always a bunch of differing sort of organizations who say, please stop. Do not do this anymore. You are adding nothing to the situation. In fact, you are actively making everything worse for us. Just stop. Do not do this. Yeah, the point was spectacle. That is it. This does not contribute to any of the specific cases. He just randomly decided to go to 2 daycares and was just like, where are the kids? Where are the kids? It makes a lot of sense that the daycare workers there were probably just like, why are there these 2 grown men asking us where are the kids at a daycare? That's a little fucking suspicious. But ICE, of course, has now been deployed within Minneapolis ever since that, video came out. And
see this fucking shit.
Look. Dude.
Where's that fucking tattoo? Let me see this fucking shit.
What's this? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? Enhance? Zoom? Let's get a better look.
Tattoo. Let me see this.
What's that? That looks like a double thunderbolt. Now, for those who may not know, that is the symbol of the Schutzstaffel, aka the SS. The special Nazi elite guard basically was like the elite trained soldiers of the fucking Nazis. And these were the guys who would be posted at the concentration fucking camps as prison guards. Very, very fucking cool. Well, why does this off-duty ICE officer have that tattooed right by his fucking ear? Why is that? What's going on here? It's almost as if these guys are all a bunch of fascist, Nazi, little...
Doctor, turn off my cringe inhibitors. But Raiden, you'll lose subscribers.
Freaks.
Do it. Okay. I was fucking joking. Why did you do it?
Thank you, Raiden. Very, very cool. This guy's an ICE agent, Alex. Exactly. Right? He's an ICE agent. And guess what? He's a Nazi. Classic. We all know where these motherfuckers hire their agents. They hire them from 3%ers, Proud Soys, all of the most racist, ill-disciplined fucking freaks on the fucking planet. And these people are just roving bands of marauders. Oh, also the IDF. Makes perfect sense. Everyone in the IDF is incredibly fucking racist. So... makes sense. Perfect selection of candidates for ICE immigration enforcement. And as we all know, these guys are basically the brown shirts. These guys are meant to be secret police. That is the point. But here's the funny thing. When Hitler took power after 1933, guess who he decided to purge after Kristallnacht fucking happened? He also purged the SA, who were the brown shirts, and replaced them with the Gestapo, because he knew that his impetuous, ill-disciplined brown shirts are not going to be really conducive to be able to sort of assist in the... Yep, Ernst Röhm, exactly. Alex Royfoss, if we want to bring in historical figures. Yep, He got fucking killed off during Kristallnacht. He was I believe, the leader of the SA at the time. Killed off. Gay man. Doesn't surprise me. He is a Nazi. So Nazis do tend to be gay very, very often. But I digress. The administration is still keeping the brown shirts around for some fucking reason. Why? I don't know. Because they're idiots. I don't know what else to really say. Besides, yeah, they're just a bunch of fucking dipshits. And the reason for as to why I talk shit on the administration for as to what they have been consistently doing in terms of their attempted sort of takeover of America, they've done nothing to the courts. The courts have been consistently against them. They are still keeping around their brown shirt brigades for some fucking reason. Why? Because they're idiots. And Stephen Miller just likes the inherent sort of cruelty. It is incredibly fucking incompetent, this attempted takeover by the United States of America. But why don't we get to the main sort of little topic du jour, and why we're talking about these terrorists, these freaks, these complete fucking psychopaths. A witness shared this video with me after showing an ICE officer shooting a driver in an SUV in southern Minneapolis. DHS says the woman is dead. Why don't we take a look? So, some context here. Icy day. Obviously, ICE is doing their immigration enforcement. And they are being told, the people that are currently on the road were being told to clear the road. And people were attempting to clear the road. Now we have this pickup truck here. By the way, this guy just decides to come up to the SUV for some fucking reason. Why? I don't know. And decides to try to grab at the fucking door. Why? Again, impetuous, undisciplined fucking morons. No! Yeah, you don't do that, by the way. You don't just, go up to someone's car and try to open the door unless you have a warrant for that person. By the way, all this lady was doing was basically just monitoring ICE, filming them, and just staying out of their way. If ICE wanted to keep going forward, there was plenty of fucking room in the other lane, and they could have just kept going forward. But they decided not to do that for some reason. I wonder why. And by the way, we're going to go through a more slowed down, broken down version of this fucking video. But take a look at this guy in front here. Oh, shame! Shame! Oh, and they just randomly shoot the fucking woman who was just filming them. By the way, you are allowed to film ICE if you are staying out of their way and you're not obstructing. She was not obstructing. They were, broadly speaking, ordered to clear out. But if the ICE officer just wanted to basically go around the fucking vehicle, they could have done that, right? And the administration is alleging that the officer who shot through the side of the fucking goddamn window was, getting run over. When in reality, that's not the case. Why don't we take a look at a more slowed down, broken down version of what exactly happened? Because it's very fast. It's difficult to assess.
I want to show you something. We can go frame by frame on this one. Keep an eye on this guy, the cold-blooded murderer, who's no doubt going to claim that he was afraid that his life...
The administration has already been claiming that.
...was in danger, or whatever. For someone who's going to no doubt claim that, he sure doesn't seem to be in any hurry to move out of the way. See...
By the way, unironically, some people have asked Grok about this. And they said that what this ICE officer here is doing, because he put his hand on the hood of the vehicle and was planting his feet, getting in front of the car, showing intent to try to stop the movement of the vehicle. At some point, it's about a decision that you have to make yourself. Some responsibility that you need to take yourself. Conservatives, whatever happened to pulling yourselves up by your fucking bootstraps and taking responsibility for any of your miserable, wretched actions?
here you can see that instead of moving out of the way, he actually decides to draw his weapon and actually plant himself more firmly.
Well, that's a little suspicious. Why would he just immediately draw his fucking weapon? This seems to be violations of even ICE's own training in fucking protocols. And also, I'm trying to remember, there was a certain 1989 Supreme Court ruling that basically claims that if you are doing shit like this, using unnecessary force, that's actually kind of a bad thing. He's pulled out his gun while unnecessarily standing in front of the vehicle, which is against ICE's own training protocols as well, right? Within ICE. By the way, dumbass Elon's bot fucking said all this shit. We can easily just take a look into all of this. He is blatantly and flagrantly in the wrong here. And what did he do? This barely trained, impetuous fucking moron decided to fucking pull out his pistol first thing and start popping off some shots. I know that all the conservatives are saying, like, oh, well, the first shot went through the front of the window, so therefore, oh, he ran over she was trying to run over the ICE officer. Her name is Renee Good, by the way. She was a single mother whose husband fucking died and decided to remarry with the wife and had, I believe, 3 fucking goddamn kids. Guess what? Those kids are all fucking, well, suffering probably, or have one less fucking parent in the house because of this impetuous, untrained fucking moron. That's the only assumption that you can basically make here, was that this dude who stood in front of the vehicle, something that also this individual is not mentioning here, had his hand on the hood of the car, wholeheartedly was trying to intend for the vehicle to fucking stop after she was trying to move out of the way from ICE when she wasn't actually obstructing any of ICE's movements or actions and was just fucking filming them, which you're allowed to do within the United States of America. Fucking freaks. These people are all terrorists.
In fact, he's leaning over the hood of the car right now on purpose. If you go frame by frame, you can see his feet are actually beside the vehicle at this point. And there is the first time he pulls the trigger. When, again, both of his feet show that he has fully cleared the front of that vehicle. Now. And then the next 2 shots happen here and then here. Both of which,
at this point, I would say rather, like, conclusive. To defend this fucking freak is indefensible. You are defending a fucking terrorist who murdered an American citizen in cold blood.
Where he's very clearly having to aim through the driver's side window and actually appears to be running after the vehicle to catch up to it. This, by the way, after very clearly signaling to the ICE officers to pass by her on that street, which...
Guess what? You can fucking do that. She's not obstructing anything. She said, you can just go ahead. There's more than enough room for you to be able to go out and be, like I mentioned before, she's not obstructing the fucking lane. There's more than enough room. If the ICE vehicles want to go through, they can just go through. She's not obstructing anything. Stupid. It's nonsensical. And then they decide to get out of the fucking vehicle. Because again, untrained fucking morons. They have no idea what they're doing.
She was very clearly not blocking nor obstructing, because moments earlier when she first started to pull out, another vehicle started pulling out similarly and crossed in front of her. So she was telling the next one to go on ahead.
In every fucking instance, the conservatives are just fucking lying. They're liars. They're liars. They're going to just lie about this because, again, these people are all freaks. You can't live with these people. You can't. The only sort of choice that you can have with these subhumans is ostracization. These people should not be allowed to be able to participate within polite society.
Not posing a threat, not obstructing, nor impeding anything. Would you look at that?
Whoa, conservatives are all fucking liars. They lied. By the way, further fucking details. Apparently, she was pronounced dead on the scene by Homeland Security and everything, of course. Renee Nicole Good actually fucking lived. And a doctor said, "Can I check her pulse?" ICE said no. The doctor says he's a physician and that he doesn't fucking care. That's what these ICE agents, these people are fucking terrorists. A doctor said, "Can I go check? See if she's okay?" She apparently fucking lived, by the way, and was just allowed to bleed out in the seat of the fucking car. Genuinely fucking insane. Listen, here's a little fucking face. This is who, by the way, hey, Democratic fucking AGs. Go after this motherfucker. Throw the fucking book at him. At the very fucking least, you throw the book at this piece of shit. Show trial and everything. And just say, no, doesn't matter. I don't care what you fucking argue. Your dumbass is fucking guilty. Your dumbass is fucking guilty. Because this dude is fucking guilty. We've seen the breakdown of the video. She was not obstructing. The dude randomly just came out of his fucking car to try to open the door. Illegally. She doesn't have to do that. And all she was doing was just waving them ahead when someone else pulled out also in front to go forward. That's what fucking happened. And then she got killed. Renee Nicole Good got fucking killed in cold blood by this fucking terrorist. Because that's what these people are. They are all terrorists. Complete fucking freaks. But of course, the administration is defending these fucking actions. Today, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters... We've seen the video. I don't think they were rioters. They were protesters objecting to ICE's actions. That is First Amendment rights, motherfucker. And one of those violent rioters weaponized her vehicle. We've shown proof of the exact fucking opposite. In-fucking-credible. Very, very cool. Very, very good. This is the argument these people are making. They're just going to say, like, oh yeah, actually, no, it was all right. It's all good. Very, very good. Fantastic. An ICE officer fearing for his life. Oh no. Poor little puppy who chose to stand in front of the car against the protocols of ICE. Against ICE's own protocols, by the way. Their own protocols say that you can't do this. Very cool. Fearing for his life, of course. The lives of his fellow law enforcement and the safety of the public fired defensive shots. Okay, dude. Nice meme. Alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. The ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries. Oh, what? Their little pinky toes got a little step on by a car tire because they were standing in front of a little car? Really? Like, what are you talking about? They went to the fucking hospital for this? Pussies. What else are you supposed to say besides these people are fucking pussies? Cowards. By the way, during this whole time, I think when there was ICE vehicles all around and ICE officers all around, everyone in Minneapolis was just following them and throwing snowballs at them. As they fucking should. Throw snowballs and was throwing fucking rocks at these people. Because I wonder why they were fucking doing that. Because you people just killed a civilian for no reason. We've seen the breakdown of the fucking video. We've seen exactly what fucking happened. This was a cold-blooded fucking murder. These people are murderers. They are marauders. They are pillagers. They are rapists. They are raiders. These people are not fucking humans. These people are miserable fucking little wretches who just want to cause more suffering for people. For what exactly? Meh. Stephen Miller said that there's a bunch of browns and blacks that you have to go after. This is the direct consequence of constant attacks and demonization of our officers by sanctuary politicians who fuel and encourage rampant assaults on our law enforcement, who are facing 1,300% increase in assaults against them and an 8,000% increase in death threats. I wonder why people might be pissed with the actions of ICE, because everything they've been doing is illegal. President of the United States also chimes in on this. I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator. He's talking about the woman saying, like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You just shot someone in cold blood. Why would you do that? You're gonna focus on the woman holding the fucking camera? Really? Fuck yeah, it's fucking pathetic bullshit. And the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting. She was telling ICE to go forward because there was room for them to go forward. They were the ones who decided to come out of the vehicle and drag her out of the fucking vehicle. That was ICE who did that. Not the woman. She wasn't obstructing. She was waving them forward. Okay, dude. Nice fucking meme. Obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, viciously ran over the ICE officer. Yeah, the ICE officer who stepped to the side was trying to run over the fucking officer. If that were the case, then she would have turned to the left to try to run him over. But she wasn't doing that. She was turning to the right to try to get away and then got shot for it. Very, very fucking cool. Who seemed to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive. Pathetic. Bro broke his own training, his own fucking protocols as an ICE agent, and decided to do his like little fucking schizo shit. Right? And just put a hand on the vehicle, lean in front of the fucking vehicle itself while his weapon was fucking drawn out. And after the first shot was let out when he was at the fucking side, out of the front of the fucking vehicle, in no more fucking danger. He's a terrorist. This guy is justifying terroristic fucking actions. These people are all terrorists. Fucking stupid, dude. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. I wonder why people might not be particularly happy with the actions of ICE, given all of the illegal fucking bullshit that they're doing. I wonder why people might not be particularly happy of the actions of La Migra. I couldn't possibly think of anything. They are just trying to do their job of making America safe. We need to stand and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. Where's the fucking Uno reverse card? I'd say the same about you, buddy. One who just violently deposed Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. Fucking the radical left are the violence and hate movement. The guy who's just randomly deposing people because their skin is a little too brown because Stephen Miller said so. Movement of fucking violence and hate. The only one who's been bringing violence and hate for the past decade at this point, ever since you made yourself a political factor, has been you, motherfucker. You are the only one who has been bringing violence and hate to the fucking stage. Complete fucking nonsense. But then again, I wouldn't expect anything less from this brain-leaking fucking psychopath who would basically talk about how much he just hates his fucking political opponents and just wants more people to suffer because of his own sort of avaricious, pedophilic desires. Complete fucking bullshit, dude. Kristi Noem talking about this as well. Why don't we take a look? What does Kristi Noem have to say?
Questions there. You asked about a shooting.
By the way, she's also at a military base. All of the Trump administration sort of apparatchiks and morons and troglodytes, have all been living on military bases at the dime of the fucking taxpayer dollar. Why? Oh, because they're too afraid that they might see some fucking threats from people. People might start coming up to them and yelling at them about how fucking dog shit their administration is. Very, very cool. And by the way, from what I understand, this was like 6 minutes away from where George Floyd also got fucking killed by Derek Chauvin. So Minneapolis being another sort of centerpiece for like another giant uprising within America. Who would have thought?
That we just had in Minneapolis, Minnesota, it was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our
rather fiery fucking rhetoric here immediately by Kristi Noem. Of course, it was Renee Good, a fucking domestic terrorist, for trying to wave the ICE agents forward and then them getting out of their vehicle and trying to arrest her for some reason and then shooting her as a result? Very cool. Yeah, domestic terrorist. Renee Good. Okay, nice meeting, dude.
Our ICE officers were out in enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over.
Just like how you attack puppies consistently.
And ram them with her vehicle.
Again, like we've seen the video, nonsensical, stupid. That's just like the complete opposite of what happened. Lies. It's just a lie. Just a lie.
An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day. These vehicle ram.
I wonder why the American people might be pretty pissed about the actions of ICE. I couldn't possibly think of anything.
Are domestic acts of terrorism. We're working with the Department of Justice to prosecute them as such.
From your DHS, of course.
Our ICE officers,
you're the terrorists.
And in cooperation with other law enforcement agencies as well. You've seen me in the last couple of days deploy over 2,000 more officers to the Minneapolis area. And in the last 2 days...
Yeah, based off of this fucking schizophrenic freak's dumb fuck video, which added basically nothing whatsoever to the ongoing investigation of daycare fraud that's happening in Minnesota. Again, listen, don't forget this guy's face. Never fucking forget this guy's fucking face, by the way. And for those who may claim, like, well, Daho, you're just doxing an officer. Meh, 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 meh. It's already illegal for this motherfucker to be wearing a face covering. Officers have to be very clearly identifiable. They're supposed to have their names and badge numbers clearly fucking shown. But the Trump administration decided to fucking shirk all that stuff. Why? Because, lawless administration. But Kristi Noem decided to hold a press conference, I think, not that long after. She whisked her way over to Minneapolis real quick because, again, Fox News was both siding this story, and we're going to get to what Jacob Frey and Tim Walz has said about this. It was basically both siding this story in favor of Jacob Frey. They were having a hard time defending this. Some of the MAGA influencers were also having a hard time fucking defending this shit. We're going to get to some of the others who are obviously not sort of going, I don't know, like ham into all of this, I guess for lack of a better term, just defending this indefensible action, of course, because again, this shit, these people are ghouls. They're not human. You do not treat these people as normal fucking human beings. They are beasts. They are animals and should be caged like the wild animals that they are. You cannot have rapport with these people. ICE agents, these like weirdo freak fucking influencers who are willing to defend literally the indefensible. We've seen the video breakdown of exactly the events that transpired, and it's clear who was in the wrong. It was the ICE agent.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. I want to start out by addressing the loss of life that we saw here in Minneapolis today. Any loss of life is a tragedy, and I think all of us can agree that in this situation it was preventable. I've spoken to the president today on the situation here on the ground. I also just got off the phone a little while ago with Governor Walz and spoke to him as well. I want to reiterate first with all of you the facts of what happened today. At 10:25 a.m. Central Time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement were carrying out lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather that Minneapolis has seen in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law enforcement were attempting to push out this vehicle, and when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in, shouting at them, and impeding law enforcement operations. ICE officers,
which is legal, by the way.
and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding.
So far, we're having a lot of change in tone. The fiery rhetoric, and because they're still lying, by the way. She waved them forward, and they decided to get out of their vehicle. So again, lies, obviously, here by the administration. But we're having quite a bit of a shift in tone because someone probably got to Kristi Noem saying like, Kristi, we're gonna get fucking sued if you don't fucking clean up your act here. You're going to make us look really, really bad. And by the way, there should be endless fucking lawsuits for this shit alone. Because this is wholeheartedly indefensible. Like, you can't fucking defend this shit.
Their work all throughout the day. ICE agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism. The ICE officer, fearing for his life and the other officers around him, and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training to save his own life and that of his colleagues. He was treated at a local hospital, has been released, and is now with family. I encourage the American people at this point in time to pray for him, but also to pray for the deceased's family and her loved ones.
What did he even do in the fucking hospital? I don't know, get like a little tickling of his fucking feet or some shit. And then told to fuck off by the doctor, saying like, dude, you just killed someone in cold blood.
Today alone in this country, there have been 4 different domestic terrorist attacks on federal officers by the ramming of vehicles. 3 of them happened here in Minneapolis.
Oh, I'm sure.
Over 100 of these vehicle rammings happened in just recent weeks, and this must stop. ICE alone is facing a 1,300% increase in assaults against them and an 8,000% increase in death threats against all of them. In fact, the very same officer who was attacked today had previously been dragged by an anti-ICE rider who had rammed him with a car and drug him back in June. He sustained injuries at that time as well. And let me remind you why we're all here in the city today and why we've been here.
I don't believe them, by the way, when they say this shit. I really don't. I wonder why people might be really pissed about the actions of ICE. I couldn't possibly think of anything. Boy Meets Minute, you could probably detail a bunch of the actions of ICE. Same with you, Alex. You are both in cities that have been directly occupied now by ICE, so that's cool.
In communities across this country and here in Minneapolis, we're just enforcing the laws that we have in this country. For years under President Biden, tens of millions of dangerous criminal illegal aliens, terrorists, and suspected terrorists were allowed to invade our country over our southern border. They were allowed to steal,
Yeah, that's just a lie, by the way. That's not the amount of people that came over the southern border, but whatever. Very cool.
Fraud, and to perpetuate violence against American citizens.
No evidence again for any of these claims.
Race, President Trump promised every single American that he would make America safe again. He promised every single American.
Vehicle ramming, no. People are blocking the roads so the vehicles can't move, which, again, you're allowed to do.
That he would work to protect them from dangerous criminals. Since Governor Walz has been in charge of Minnesota, we have seen homicides go up by over 50%. That's also during Mayor Frye's tenure as well. Since President Trump took office, Governor Walz has released over 470 violent criminals back onto the streets here in Minneapolis. He has another 680 of them still within his jurisdiction that he could give to us today to face the consequences for their crimes. Because Governor Walz and Mayor Frye refuse to protect Minnesotans, and instead they protect these criminals, that's why we're here. And we didn't just
Again, like, why do they have to fucking cooperate with you and hand over those fucking criminals to you who could be lying about these sort of charges that you may be giving them? Like, again, these people are all charlatans and freaks. It doesn't really matter. Why should the federal law enforcement? You're not the FBI. You're DHS. You're immigration enforcement. How do you know they're not American citizens? How do you know they're even fucking migrants? Why should they hand them over to you? Stupid.
Show up yesterday. We've always been here. But we're surging operations because of the dangerous situation we see in this country and because we're no longer going to allow illegal criminals to damage and harm, to kill, to sexually abuse, to proliferate drugs, and to steal American taxpayers' dollars. This state has faced unprecedented immigration fraud. It's seen unprecedented benefit fraud. Individuals were allowed to come into this country and set up fake companies and fake nonprofits and divert billions of dollars away from American citizens and those vulnerable citizens who truly needed this.
So everyone who was a part of that COVID fraud, they all got charged and convicted. Yeah. They're just awaiting their fucking sentencing at this point, Kristi. And there's a current ongoing investigation, unlike what this fucking dumbass would say, but there's a current ongoing investigation in terms of the daycare fraud. Although, honestly, that sort of investigation's made more and more difficult because of your dumbass fucking president diverting a bunch of agents to do immigration enforcement. Very, very funny. A lot of Trump supporting business owners got charged, so it's their own people. Oh, of course. Typical of the fucking conservative and the Republicans. They always commit the fraud. Yes, PPP loan fraud. Yeah. Mostly the people who benefited from that shit was Republicans.
The services from those programs. This city has burned before, and your mayor and your governor let it happen. President Trump is not going to let that happen. He and our federal law enforcement...
Yeah, because Derek Chauvin stepped on the knee of, put his knee on someone's fucking neck, dude, and people got really fucking pissed about it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's nonsensical. That's not the responsibility of the governor. That's not the governor's fault for any of that shit. That's stupid. Nonsensical.
Are here to bring peace and to bring public safety and to ensure that criminal activity is stopped and that people who perpetuate it will face consequences.
Oh, I'm
Since
sure.
we have been here in recent weeks, we have arrested over 1,500 criminals off of the streets. Our law
Oh, I'm
enforcement
sure.
has arrested murderers, known and suspected terrorists, child pedophiles, and other brutal criminals that were protected here in the city.
I've seen some of the videos of this. They've gone after random Somali migrants who are American citizens. Yeah, bring peace, by the way. And this dude just, like, randomly shoots a fucking woman in her SUV. Yeah, okay. Yeah, pedophile. So Trump, you guys gonna go after Trump? I'm just saying.
We should all work together to protect our citizens. We should all protect the men and the women and the families who live here in Minneapolis, who live in Minnesota,
you definitely
and
care
throughout this
about
entire
them.
country.
Sure.
I want to thank you for being here, and I want to thank you for focusing on the important work that our federal officers do, and make sure that we're focused on the priorities of this country, and that's making sure that we're keeping people safe. With that, I'll take any questions that you may have. I say that he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's very...
Okay, who cares about the questions? They're going to talk about, again, this Kristi Noem interview sort of happened in press conference, basically happened right after, I believe, both Jacob Frey, who's the current mayor of Minneapolis, and also Tim Walz also had his fucking goddamn conference as well. So why don't we take a look? And by the way, like I said before, at the very minimum, and I know that Keith Ellison, who's like a Bernie-crat, he's like a progressive, has said that they're looking to investigate into the situation. Don't investigate into this fucking situation. Jail this motherfucker. Bring charges and go after him. I want to see charges immediately. Charges. There's no investigation that needs to be done. Like, random fucking, like, TikTokers already did the investigation for you. It's extremely fucking clear who is in the wrong here. It was the ICE agent. He was in the fucking wrong. It's so ridiculously clear and obvious that if this dude, at the very minimum, does not get fucking captured and have the book thrown at him, the Democratic Party is, broadly speaking, more dead than it really should be. Like, everything possible should be brought against this terrorist, again, just to pull him up real quick, this terrorist over here, and have him thrown behind bars for the rest of his miserable fucking life.
There's a lot of information that is swirling around right now, and we collectively are going to do everything possible to get to the bottom of this, to get justice, and to make sure that there is an investigation that is conducted in full. But what we do know is that a 37-year-old woman is dead, and that she was shot by ICE. We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis. Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been
talking about... To be honest, in general, right? ICE is impetuous. They are undisciplined. They are barely fucking trained and are just thrown into situations they barely know how to fucking take care of. Again, we've talked about the training protocols that guy sort of violated alone. Like, he's not supposed to stand in front of a vehicle. Period. End of story.
They are not here to cause safety in the city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent...
As much as I hate Jacob Frey, and this guy is a piece of shit, by the way, this is going to be effective, by the way. This is effective rhetoric. This is going to play well, because again, it's just blatant. It is clear that the ICE agent is just in the wrong. Yep, it is an accurate comparison. That's right, Boy Meets Mini, for what you're saying here.
Recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course, was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible. And to the family, I'm so deeply...
Which, by the way, ICE tried to prevent. We all know this. There was a doctor on the site who wanted to do some, I don't know, basic CPR, just some checks. ICE fucking refused. Terrorists.
There's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better.
Terrorists.
There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time. Having them there was only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes, they created themselves.
Yep.
There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation
They've seen
better.
the breakdown.
I do have a message
They
for our
did
community,
themselves.
for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in the city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing...
I know that's like the sort of like the main sort of clippable headline sort of grabber that Jacob Fry is going through here. I mean, it's still like, yeah, objectively correct. Yeah, get the fuck out. We don't want you here. Nobody wants you here. You guys are only causing way, way more fucking problems, right? Go fuck yourselves. Respectfully, go fuck yourselves. Actually, no. Disrespectfully, just go fuck yourselves. Nobody wants you. Nobody likes you. Everyone thinks you should just eat a bunch of shit. Fuck you. Suck our dick. Unironically. What you're doing is just going around and fucking murdering people now. Besides all of the obvious abuses, illegal actions, again, violations of the Fourth Amendment withstanding, violations of the 14th Amendment as well, these people are just an impetuous, just like the brown shirts were during Nazi Germany. They are just meant to go around and just cause terror. They fulfill no other purpose. They exist for no other reason besides to be nothing but a bunch of impetuous fucking morons.
Doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are...
1000% boy meets me. It's a great point. One bad apple, one isolated case. This is just going to embolden all of ICE to shoot indiscriminately. I do agree with this. Only if this guy does not have the book thrown at him. If nothing is done to this fucking motherfucker, then they're just going to be emboldened to just shoot first and ask questions later. They will only become more impetuous, and the administration's only going to get more aggressive. We're going to get to what a lot of the federal Democrats have been generally saying, but so far their rhetoric on this has been very, very good. Very, very good. And as expected from the federal Republicans, they're defending this action.
Are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you.
Sure.
It's also on you to leave. It's on you to make sure that further damage, further loss of life and injury is not...
Of course, Jacob Fry can't really himself just kick out ICE. However, he can direct the Minneapolis Police Department to arrest ICE if they are doing illegal actions. That is something that he can do. For example, that ICE agent should have been arrested. By the way, after he did his crime, he ran away like a little fucking coward because he knows. He knows what he did was more than likely wrong. And he more than likely just in the back of his mind, and he's going to live with that for the rest of his wretched little fucking life, that he just killed an innocent woman for no fucking reason. As far as I can tell, yes, he is still at large.
Done. We're going to be working towards justice as quickly as we possibly can right now, and justice is what we've all got to get. Next, the message to our community. Look, we all know that the agenda of this Trump administration is to create chaos. Let us respond right now with our best versions of self. This is a moment where all of us, in Minneapolis and beyond, we can rise to the occasion. We can show them who we are. We can show them the kind of courage, bravery, love, and compassion that makes Minneapolis, Minneapolis, and that makes America, America. We are better than a bunch of ICE agents being deployed to cities around the country and ripping apart families and communities. We're better than that. And so we are going to meet that hate with love. We are going to meet that despair with hope. We are going to meet that injustice with constitutional justice ourselves. And we're going to make sure that in this very difficult moment, we do not take the bait that these ICE agents are trying to create and that the federal government, to be clear, wants. They want us to respond in a way that creates a military occupation in our city. They want an excuse to come in and show the kind of force that will create more chaos and more despair. Let's not let them. Let's rise to this occasion. Let's show...
I believe there was like a candlelight vigil that was just held. By the way, of course, the right is just going to claim that they are just a bunch of violent insurrectionaries, of course. That they're just doing a riot, of course, when all they're doing is just walking around holding some fucking candles. Again, simple fucking protest actions, which protected by the First Amendment, but then again, the right does not respect the First Amendment. They do not respect the Constitution. They could give less of a flying fuck about any of that stuff. They don't care about the rule of law. These people are all just terrorists. Terrorists. Terrorists.
Show them something far more beautiful than the kind of division that they're trying to stoke. Let's show them unity of purpose, of love, and the courage of our conviction. Our conviction, to be clear, is rock solid, and it is for our neighbors, all of our neighbors. It's for people who have lived here for 80 years. It is for new immigrants who have made the city a better place.
Throw more snowballs at ICE agents. Tell them to go fuck themselves. Bully these people. Bully them. Bully them. These people are miserable fucking outcasts and exiles of society. These people are weak, pathetic fucking losers, right? They were constant, because they, just so long as enough people show up, they will run away and cower in fear. Because they know in the back of their minds what they are doing is inherently fucking wrong. Because, again, like every little fucking fascist fucking freak, bully them. Just call them the stupid, Nazi, fascistic little fucking freaks that they all are. Trust me. And these people, they are fucking Nazis. A whole lot of them. Most of them are fucking Nazis. We all fucking know about ICE, okay? These people are just weak-willed, weak-minded, stupid little fucking freaks. Go after them. Keep bullying them. Keep calling them the miserable wretches and piles of shit that they always have been.
That's the kind of love that we're going to show up with right now. If you're angry, I am too. If you're feeling that kind of despair, it's understandable. Let's show them who we can be. Let's show up with peace. To march, to protest, to hug one another, to love all the way with peace. Do not give them what they want. Finally, we've got a lot of work that needs to happen right now to make sure that, first, of course, the scene was secured as much as possible, that we were able to get the victim now deceased to the hospital. We've got a lot of work to do in the coming days. I want to thank our city enterprise for the work that they have done, but more importantly, what they're about to do, because this is going to be heavy, and our city's been through a lot. We also know that we're prepared to do right for people. Among them is our chief of police. I'll invite him up.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N-O'-H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. This morning, Minneapolis police officers received a report of federal law enforcement being involved in a deadly force incident, meaning shots had been fired. Minneapolis police officers responded to the scene. We arrived and found a woman with a gunshot wound to the head. Life-saving measures were performed at the scene, including CPR. The woman was transported to Hennepin County Medical Center, where she has since been pronounced deceased. The preliminary information that we have indicates that this woman was in her vehicle and was blocking the roadway on Portland Avenue, midway between 33rd Street and 34th Street in the city. At some point, a federal law enforcement officer approached her on foot, and the vehicle began to drive off. At least 2 shots were fired.
Okay, this is not exactly accurate to what is being said. She was not blocking the road. She signaled the ICE officers to go ahead, just to be like, okay, just keep going. There was an open lane that they could have gone through. They decided not to get out of, and they got out of the vehicle and basically was, again, going to basically try to drag her out and arrest her. I don't know why we're going ahead with the administration sort of framing on this, but then again, I'm not really expecting anything less from a fucking police chief.
The vehicle then crashed on the side of the roadway. Minneapolis police
Yep,
officers
they definitely had a car's width.
and assisted in trying to preserve the evidence that is there. We have since turned over the scene both to the Federal Bureau of Investigation as well as the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, which will be conducting an investigation into this use of deadly force. I want to thank
Unjustified,
City Council
period.
other members of the City Council, state legislators that were on the scene. This has been a very difficult time for everyone in the city, and this is obviously a very, very tragic situation where a woman has lost her life. That being said, in addition to this tragedy, which unfortunately we did predict, we were seriously concerned about further escalation from the scene. I want to thank the elected officials that came themselves to help us prevent that from happening, as well as the individuals on that scene.
Oh, and by the way, just to talk about, like, ICE's sort of actions again, in Chicago, and again, Alex, you can attest to this, we all know about the fact that ICE does not have the support of most local police officers. They don't. And they need the support of local police if they even want to think about being successful in their immigration fucking enforcement. They've tear gassed Chicago PD before. They have been incredibly fucking impetuous in their uses of tear gas, so much so that judges within Illinois itself have said, like, to Emil Bovee, you're going to report to me every single day about the actions and force techniques that you have been consistently using on people in Illinois. You're going to report to me literally every single day because I cannot trust you to be able to use proper fucking protocol. Yep, we've talked about this before. Shot multiple people in the head with pepper balls, including a fucking pastor. These people are Demons. They have constantly pointed weapons at people who are just recording them, not obstructing them, not obstructing an arrest or anything like that. That is their, again, First Amendment rights. You are allowed to record an officer. There's nothing you can fucking do about that. They are allowed to record you, whether you fucking like it or not. And they just point their weapons at people. And guess what? Same thing was happening with Renee Good. Also was recording their actions and talking about their actions to local sort of groups within the area, and she got killed for it.
Remain peaceful, and that abided by law enforcement instructions so that we could preserve that scene and ensure that a full and transparent investigation can take place. That being said, I just echo the mayor's comments.
Oh, just to talk about that real quick, Boy Meets Mini. The right sees death against their ideological opponents as theater. It's fucking disgusting, man. Oh, by the way, all these motherfuckers were just crying and moaning and complaining about Charlie Kirk memes being made about the fact that he got fucking murked in the neck and killed. Not even when the body is gone fucking cold. These demons, these non-fucking humans are already fucking making memes. They've been making fucking Wojaks of Renee Good here specifically, getting fucking fired or getting like shot in the fucking head with a bullet wound in the fucking top of her head. These people are demons. Oh, hey, right wingers, it's time to apply some fucking standards. It's time for you to get doxed, little guy, told who you are at your fucking work, and to get your dumbass fucking fired for this exactly. I believe the Twitter account Right Wing Cope has already indicated that 5 people have been fucking fired because of their social media posts, making like memes and Wojaks of this obvious fucking murder. More of them should be fired.
We understand people are going to be upset about what happened, and people are going to want to exercise their First Amendment rights. But please do so safely and lawfully to ensure that we do not have any further tragedy in the city or destruction. Thank you.
Chief, Sheriff, council members. Sure. Open questions.
Any idea of the identity of the ICE officer that fired the shot?
I don't have that information, no. The question was, is there an identity of the ICE officer that fired? I do not have that.
Therefore, the ICE officer stopped a position helping the lady was shot. Is that true? We've seen videos all over social media that someone tried to help us, and you were told they were pointing guns at and told you away. You know about that at all?
So the question was, there's information out there that people tried to help the woman that was shot, and ICE officers that pointed guns at them and told them to leave. I do not have that information. I myself saw a...
Again, he's holding this press conference like relatively probably has not seen the videos, right? We'll give benefit of the doubt. Yeah, we know. We really know. Police really flubbed this when they came to identifying and detaining the thug. Has he been detained at this point? He should be fucking detained at this point because he did a crime in Minneapolis. State charges should be thrown against him. Abso-fucking-lutely. He did a crime. This complete fucking freak over here did a fucking crime. And, of course, ICE, don't care, whatever. Doctor could have checked, done some CPR, anything. ICE obstructed that because, again, demons.
Video of the shots being fired as the car was driving away. What I can tell you is the narrative that this was just done in self-defense is a garbage narrative. That's
True.
not true. It has no truth. And it needs to be stated very clearly since
No
we've already
basis.
seen a video of it. I do not know as to what you're talking about.
She wasn't driving a car toward him using her vehicle as a weapon.
That does not appear to be the case at all.
What's the safety protocol when they're going this calls 911? You say you just call them.
It's good to see that he's being rather firm, saying like, no, this is nonsensical. The administration is coming up with because they will try to basically come up with like literally any excuse to try to frame a narrative around this, because the right knows that this is really, really bad. This looks extremely fucking bad for them. So they will do literally anything possible to come up with a narrative in order to basically excuse the actions of this ICE officer who should be rotting in a prison right now.
Repeat it one more time. I missed the first part of what you said. I'll turn it over to the chief.
What does the city do when someone calls 911 and
Oh, I see. Yeah. I'll turn it over to the chief. The question is, what does someone do when a federal agent is pointing a gun at them, chief?
So, if I heard you correctly, the question is about when people call 911, what is the city's protocol?
Okay, I don't really care about like that protocol of 911.
Today's tactics in line with that, or do you just have a generic response to the fact that something's not there?
The question is that I had previously made several statements about being concerned about the tactics being employed. I am obviously very concerned that I have been told that a woman who was sitting in her car blocking the street and not the target of any enforcement activity is now deceased. However, I do not know, to be clear, I do not know the exact circumstances of the shooting, but I would tell you, in any professional law enforcement agency in the country, I think they would tell you it's obviously very concerning whenever there's a shooting into a vehicle of someone who's not armed, but it also is something that is possible. At times, it is justified. But it is very concerning, and it's something that most law enforcement agencies in the country...
Again, we've talked about this exact... She wasn't obstructing the road. She was signaling for the officers to go ahead. Like, saying, like, yeah, just go. Just go ahead, right? Like, again, capitulation.
The question was if she was alone in the car. I know that I got there shortly after this call came in.
I believe her wife was there as well, right? And saw that her fucking wife got murdered.
Yes, we've been on the phone all morning. As soon as we learned about this, again, there were a series of priorities that we needed to go through. The first, of course, is to keep people safe and to help the victim in any way that we could. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There was the notion that ICE agents would be necessary to create a perimeter around the scene itself. They themselves...
Yeah, at times, like, shooting someone, yeah, it can be justified. No. Like, no. You don't just shoot in someone's car fucking randomly for, like, no reason. It's nonsensical, dude.
We're creating the kind of dysfunction and chaos that they claim to be trying to help with. And so the message that we delivered very clearly was to make them leave. Now, beyond leaving the scene, they should also leave our city and our state. We do work, our chief does work, our sheriff does work every single day to keep people safe in our city and in our state. And crime is dramatically down. Crime is down. It continues to trend down. They are doing the hard work of investigating, of arresting perpetrators of violent crime.
By the way, this is the general sort of consensus across every single Democratic city that they are... Because again, it's not about crime. That's a narrative for them. Every single Democratic city has been seeing precipitous, historic drops in crime. Why? Because of all the community initiatives that have been taken in those cities to address crime, which is communities which have had funding cut off since, or not since, but by the President of the United States of America. Because again, can't fucking run on any other narrative or policy himself, so he has to make his own narrative and policy and sort of politics on his own consistently, because this is the sort of Republican playbook. Take away the funding of effective programs that address a particular issue, and then run on that issue, talk about how the Democrats fucked it all up. It's like, well, you guys fucking caused the issue. You guys caused this fucking problem. And besides, we all know why there was a historic increase in crime. Because of COVID. Yeah, it turns out if there's a very sudden, huge economic upheaval, crime goes up.
What this federal administration is doing right now is not about creating safety. Do not let them tell you that what they are doing is about creating safety. It is not.
It's true.
It's having the opposite impact. We need to be clear-eyed about the work that is moving forward, and they need to leave Minneapolis.
Mayor, you may know this with your legal background. If the shooting is found to not be justified, does the city have any legal, or the state rather, have any legal recourse to bring charges against this ICE agent, given that this person is a federal agent?
Yes.
So obviously, and I have to always lead with this caveat because it is true, investigation still does need to be conducted. I had my perception of what took place based on the vehicle and the vehicle's positioning. It does not appear that the individual was trying to ram anybody. Now, the question was, if it is in fact found to be an unjustified shooting, who issues the charge, who prosecutes, how does justice take place? I don't know the answer to that. This is obviously information that we're still working out, Chief.
It would be the AG, right? The AG is who can carry out charges here and can do that relatively quick. There doesn't really need to be much of an investigation. The video itself is very, very fucking clear as to what happened. Again, like, seemingly a fucking TikToker. Keith Ellison, yeah, exactly. A TikToker fucking broke it down and made it pretty clear. The ICE agent is just in the fucking wrong. But anyway, I digress. We're going off on a little bit of a tangent here. We're rambling here a little bit. Tim Walz. He also talked about this. We should probably get his perspective as well.
And today that recklessness cost someone their life. I reached out to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and I'm waiting to hear back. Let me be clear. Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident. But we love this state. We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this. I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want to show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully, as you always do. We can't give them what they want. The hearts and minds of the people in this state are on our side.
I already disagree with this rhetoric here, specifically from Tim Walz. You're essentially giving into the framing of the administration that all these protesters are inherently fucking violent. Because that is unironically what the Trump administration believes. They think any protest against them is just basically a riot. You're giving into their framing for literally no reason. Because again, like, I don't know why. Like, be aggressive in your fucking rhetoric. I think, to be honest, like, you've already announced that you're basically dropping out of the race. You're not seeking political re-election. Be aggressive. Talk about, like, hey, fuck these motherfuckers. These guys are pieces of shit. Jacob Fry, at the very least, was aggressive, right? Oh yeah, 1,000. What? I don't think you can declare war on ICE. They can't really do arrests unless the Insurrection Act is called. Not really much they could do there in terms of mobilization of the National Guard. He did mobilize the National Guard, boy meets Minnie, against the protesters. Against the protesters. Great Tim Walz. I mean, like, in every sort of instance where Tim Walz could be potentially making a political mistake, he's making political mistakes. Do not give in to the framing of the administration here. They're all liars. We've seen what Kristi Noem said. Lies. We're going to see what the influencers are saying. Lies. These people are all just liars. They are charlatans. They are freaks. They don't care about the sanctity of life. They just want to cause suffering for no reason.
To Americans, I ask you this. Please stand with Minneapolis. To Minnesotans, know that our administration is going to stop at nothing to seek accountability and justice. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are working on the investigation. We have activated the State Emergency Operations Center. State Patrol, Minnesota National Guard leadership.
I'm going to be quite honest, Alex. I think it's because he's essentially been muzzled by the deep state. The DNC fucking got to him and muzzled basically any potential, like, aggression that he once had. The weird stuff, the reason why he stopped doing the weird stuff, because of the DNC. Because of Joe Biden saying, like, well, you can't call the Republicans weird. That's a little too mean. You can't be doing that, even though it's, like, incredibly effective, and they are a bunch of fucking weirdos.
Acted with the Minneapolis Police Department, the St. Paul Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, the DNR, and Minnesota's Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We have activated dozens of members of the State Patrol's Mobile Response Team. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough. There's nothing more important than Minnesotan safety. I've issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary.
We all know about, again, the only reason why ICE is even deployed in Minneapolis to begin with is because of this fucking Nick Shirley has blood on his hands. He has blood on his hands. He is a murderer by proxy. He killed Renee Nicole Good. He killed her with his, like, schizophrenic fucking video. His nonsensical fucking video. Where a bunch of other people also decided to do the same thing, and that is harass a bunch of daycare locations. This guy is a freak. You are complicit in fucking murder, Nick.
These National Guard troops are our National Guard troops.
Same with David, also complicit in murder.
They are Minnesotans. Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in a national political fight. We will not take the bait. We will continue to update you, Minnesota, as we get more information. Now I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Bob Jacobson of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety.
Thank you, Governor. As the Governor mentioned, my name is Bob Jacobson. It is my honor to serve as the Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. First of all, I want to acknowledge the reason that we are all here. The loss of life is not anything anyone would ever want. We fully expect that the community will want to peacefully demonstrate their anger or frustration. Minnesota residents and visitors have the right to peacefully demonstrate. We recognize that demonstrations are often driven by strong emotions, beliefs, and certainly a desire to be heard. Our role is to help ensure everyone can express themselves without anyone getting hurt. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety's role through the Minnesota State Patrol is to ensure safety, protect constitutional rights, keep roads accessible, and above all, to prevent harm. Our top priority is public safety. Our focus is keeping demonstrators, community members, drivers, and law enforcement safe, especially during moments of heightened tension or uncertainty. Demonstrations must remain safe and lawful, particularly around roadways. We will join with our partners to support safety while respecting the right to protest. With that in mind, I'd like to share a few safe and lawful ways to demonstrate. Minnesotans can safely and legally express their views in many ways, including getting together peacefully with others in public spaces, marching or walking, not on roadways, making your voice heard through chants, speech.
This is so, yeah, like, why are we doing this? I don't know, like, I'm skipping forward.
As you know, we don't comment on active investigations, but also keep in mind that this is an investigation as also.
Like, why the fuck are we talking about, like, here's the proper way of fucking protesting, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that, dude. Like, who gives a shit about any of this stuff? Like, fuck off. Stupid. Yeah, did Gavin Newsom have, like, some random jabroni here to come up and say, like, here's the proper way of doing a protest? Like, people are fucking stupid. Broadly speaking, everyone already understands, like, yeah, we know how to fucking protest, dude. Like, fuck off. Like, it doesn't matter with because, again, Tim Walz constantly says that to not be bait for the administration. It doesn't matter. They just lie. They're liars. They are all just a bunch of fucking freaks. You can't fucking give in to these people. Give in to their framing. For no fucking reason. Like, that's the problem here. You're giving into their framing for literally no reason. They're just known liars, propagandists, freaks. It doesn't matter with these motherfuckers. If they can lie to achieve a particular political end, they'll just lie. They don't give a shit.
In its infancy. So any speculation about what had happened would be just that. And we will not engage in speculation. With that, I will turn it back over to the governor. Thank you.
We'd be glad to take any questions. Yeah, and I can let General Schaefer talk about this. It so happens it's a training weekend. We've got about 7,500 troops in training at our sites, training sites across the state. What it is, and in the National Guard, you give a warning order, which is a heads up of something could be coming. That just allows people to think about what they would need, what it would mean to mobilize, what it would mean to put them in. And I can let the General talk a little bit about this. Obviously, since the summer of 2020, we had a lot of work done on teams being ready to make sure that civil unrest. And what that means, and I think Commissioner Jacobson was very clear.
They're just liars.
The desire to get out and protest.
Yeah, we know that Tim Walz is, again, deploying the fucking National Guard, right? Like, I don't really care about the National Guard guy has to say.
You would protect your constitutional rights. These are our neighbors. They don't wear masks. They don't bust in from somewhere else. They're not here to cause hassles to you or what we saw today, the tragedy. Having them at the ready to make sure, because when we see these...
I don't know why we're bringing up the National Guard here. Again, I don't know if he's just fearful about Donald Trump basically mobilizing the fucking Minnesota National Guard to go after protesters. I don't know. Like, I really do think that after the DNC got to him, after all the weird rhetoric that was very, very effective, he's essentially been, well, neutered as, like, a political actor. Like, I don't know why we're doing this. All this, like, weird PSA shit saying, like, this is the proper way to protest. Remember, the National Guardsmen are your fucking neighbors and shit like that, because he's like he's probably afraid of the administration for some fucking reason. I don't understand. Like, are all the like 3 IQ morons who keep saying a bunch of random conspiratorial bullshit potentially getting to his brain? I really do think it's a combination of both the fucking DNC, people within positions of power, and very powerful lobbyists, and very, very powerful people saying, like, this is how you need to behave. Like, don't do any of this bullshit. But also, I think he's just, again, probably traumatized from the fact that Trump didn't give a fuck about Vance Bolter killing Melissa Hortman and her husband. Unironically, I really do think that that's probably the case. Like, he got spooked out by the fact that there was an assassin who basically just killed these people. Yeah, I guess seemingly they haven't gotten to Jacob Fry yet, but I think Jacob Fry is already like more willing to play this sort of political establishment game, and it's broadly speaking popular shit on ice, so it's just like, man, whatever. But I think Tim Walz is just too afraid. He's just too afraid to just like shit on these people, despite the fact that it's really, really popular to do so.
Of things happen, and we saw it after the murder of George Floyd. There's folks that want to cause chaos. There's the disruptors in it. While the vast majority of those protests were peaceful expression of their First Amendment rights, there were
mostly the people who were disruptors who wanted to cause chaos are conservatives and people in the police. Even the FBI was looking to cause chaos and disruptions within the George Floyd protests.
Those that destroy property and put people at risk. The National Guard is there to make sure that peaceful protests are able to be done, and that those that want to do the destruction are stopped from doing that. Yes.
Damn, I guess you have to stop the FBI and the police then.
Yeah, and I think apparently by a federal agent, not by Minnesotans who were there to express their First Amendment rights. I think we've seen this to have folks ready. The gatherings that were down there today, I think this shocked everyone. People showed up as they should. There's people putting flowers down on a memorial. There's people expressing their anger. It's just as these situations develop, we decide when we need to move these people out. And I think the local reporters know well on this, both unfortunately and for us, the upside of this is that we're very good and we've had practice at this. And I just want to, again, implore Minnesotans, I am not telling you not to express your anger or your frustrations or the outrage that we have. Look, this was totally predictable, as I said it yesterday, and it was totally avoidable. And I just wanted to remind you, too, that local law enforcement, we get no coordination. They don't tell us they're coming. They don't say why they're sending the largest deployment in American history to Minneapolis. They're not making us any safer. We don't have any of that coordination. They should be talking to us when we do these things. Let us know we are going to be down here. This is going to happen. We don't have that. So when you see local law enforcement or state patrol,
well, they just do that because they think they're kings. I mean, everyone knows this, right? Like, Donald Trump is a mad king who's currently in power and is just doing random fucking bullshit because he feels like he can.
It would take the National Guard. We're there responding to the chaos they've created too. But our role is to make sure that we're protecting Minnesotans so that something like this doesn't happen. I have not.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, between all the weird protest refereeing and shit, like, I don't know. I just think he's, like, people fucking got to him and he got fucking spooked by Vance Bolter, and that's why he's sort of acting this way, right? Like, I'm not really sure if we can really glean much of anything else from what Tim Walz is saying here. I think he's just been, like, politically neutered at this point. Like, again, you're not seeking re-election, Tim, unless you're, I don't know, potentially looking to become senator, you can be more fiery. You should be more aggressive. That would be popular. People would like the aggression and sort of just being like, fuck these stupid ICE motherfuckers. These terrorists just come in, murder one of our own because like we've all seen the video. It's nonsensical. I'm going to direct my AG to essentially throw the book at this motherfucker. This stupid ICE Gestapo little freak. I'm going to throw the book at him because that's what he deserves. And I implore on all of my Democratic governors to actively engage in a manhunt of this piece of shit if he tries to run from the state. Because he's going to try to run from the state, and the federal government's not going to hand him over. That's not fucking happening. The only way this is going to happen is, again, if the Minnesota state just throws the fucking book at him. This is what you need to do. You can't allow this to be gotten away with. This is insane. Insanity. If this guy is not charged with first-degree fucking murder, then failure. Like, whatever Tim Walz runs for in terms of higher office, his, like, effective neutering by the DNC and the sort of deep state is going to make him an ineffective candidate in a position of fucking power. But let's, why don't we get into some of the dumb fuck influencers? Our favorite schizophrenic here, Laura Loomer, complaining about the fact that she had pronouns in fucking bio. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, are you insane? This is like the sort of aspect that you're going to attack her from. The fact that she had she, her in her fucking bio. Like, seriously. You're a psychopath. Like, what is wrong with you? You are just brain damaged. Like, beyond brain damage. Like, what else do you say to someone like this besides, wow, you're a fucking goddamn freak. What the fuck is wrong with you? You are insane. Obviously, before the body even went cold, we have seen freaks like this posting memes and Wojaks of her getting fucking murdered, of course. But here, our favorite little fucking roach man. Time for some mold content. Time for this stupid little fucking roach freak to also throw in his fucking 10 cents. Of course, Destiny correctly is pointing out this is the type of stuff that people like Asmongold are cheering on. As much as I despise Destiny, aka the Horseman of Spite, is correct. He's just right. This is exactly what Asmongold wants. Law of the jungle, might makes right. Is so long as you're the stronger guy with the gun, who the fuck cares? That means you're inherently fucking correct. And of course, Asmongold, who he himself has called himself a fucking psychopath after his banning on Twitch because of the shit that he said about Palestinians, right? Like, yeah, dude, Palestinians are inherently an inferior culture, so therefore they deserve to be killed by the Israelis, which is 1000% like psychotic and should be para-banned, something that is para-banned specifically by Twitch, but they didn't do this. They only did a 2-week ban instead. And yeah, what does he do? Whatever. It's a dumbass fucking middle-aged white woman or elderly fucking white woman, like about to be elderly white woman, probably in the mind of this fucking goddamn freak. Yeah, she should have been fucking killed. Absolutely. Had pronouns and bio and everything. Yeah, fucking kill her. Absolutely. This is exactly what fucking freaks like Asmongold want. Yeah, Rip Bozo. They told her to get out of the car. No, they fucking didn't, you stupid dumbass. Then she put it in reverse and tried to run over an officer and drive away. I don't have to tell you why this is just so fucking wrong. This is just wrong. This is just inaccurate. But then again, does Asmongold do any fucking research whatsoever? No. Of course, he brings in the second video, which doesn't actually prove anything and makes him look fucking worse. We have seen the fucking goddamn breakdown of the video itself specifically by this individual over here. I'm not sure what her name is. For proper crediting or whatever. The ICE agent is just simply put in the fucking wrong. And all the conservatives are saying like, oh, what about the bully hole in the front? What about the bully hole in the front? Like, he had his hand on the fucking hood to try to make it stop. And then shot, the first shot, which probably could have ricocheted out of the fucking goddamn windshield, or he aimed it through the front initially. And wanted to shoot initially through the front, and then got to the side and kept fucking shooting. There are so many potential explanations for as to why this happened, for why that happened. To say that this is an inherent, I don't know, debunking of what the ICE officer fucking did, to say that that is a proof of her trying to run over the ICE agent, again, the ICE agent directly disregarded protocol of unnecessarily standing in front of a fucking vehicle when he leaned on the hood and put a hand on it to try to stop the woman from driving away. Despite the fact that she waved the fucking ICE officer saying like, yeah, you can go. There's a car's length. You can go out into the other lane. She's not obstructing anything. Now, if she was occupying the other fucking lane, then yes, she would be obstructing. Then there could be some probable cause there. But she wasn't fucking doing that. Again, these people are liars. They are all fucking charlatans. They are all grifters. They're liars. They are fucking freaks. But then again, I don't know. I guess they don't understand that a car's length was allowed, was basically, I don't know, not allocated, but there was a car's length, a lane available for the ICE agent to just go around. And he could have done that, but he didn't. He decided to get out of his fucking vehicle and just try to apprehend the fucking woman instead. Genuinely fucking insane. Comply with police and don't try to run them over. This angle shows it better. Nonsensical. This angle, by the way, that he's talking about proved fucking nothing. What's wrong with this angle? Huh? What's wrong with this fucking angle here, Asmongold? It made it very, very clear that the ICE officer was just in the fucking wrong. But again, is someone like Walter Masterson in the sort of feed of Asmongold? Because again, the only way that motherfucker gets his political takes are from anti-woke YouTubers that he watches, his Reddit, his subreddit, and his fucking timeline filled with a collection of fucking schizophrenics and fucking freaks. And of course, here he is continuing to defend the actions of ICE. Why don't we take a look?
I can't with these people trying to call this a murder and all that shit.
It is a murder.
Well, hey, maybe they shouldn't be in front of the car. The thing is that you're never going to convince these people that it's not, okay? Like, it doesn't matter. The only thing you have to do...
Do we need to fucking watch this video again? Here. Just for you, Asmongold.
I want to show you something. We can go frame by frame on this one. Keep an eye on this guy, the cold-blooded murderer, who's no doubt going to claim that he was afraid that his life was in danger, or whatever. For someone who's gonna no doubt claim that, he sure doesn't seem to be in any hurry to move out of the way. See, here you can see that instead of moving out of the way, he actually decides to draw his weapon and actually plant himself more firmly. In fact, he's leaning over the hood of the car right now. On purpose. If you go frame by frame, you can see his feet are actually beside the vehicle at this point. And there is the first time he pulls the trigger. When again...
Right? And this could have been in an angle where it went through the fucking front windshield. We can't tell 100% for certain, but whatever.
And both of his feet show that he has fully cleared the front of that vehicle. And then the...
No, it's not that I don't think she thought it was a carjacking, Boy Meets Minnie. She probably thought like, oh, these guys are going to try to arrest me despite the fact that I just waved them forward. And what they are doing is illegal. Because again, I'm going to reiterate this. What these ICE officers are doing is illegal. Again, they have no sort of probable cause to just drag her out of her fucking vehicle. They're doing this for no fucking reason because, again, ICE are a bunch of impetuous fucking freaks.
Next two shots happen here and then here. Both of which where he's very clearly having to aim through the driver's side window and actually appears to be running after the vehicle to catch up to it. This, by the way, after very clearly signaling to the ICE officers to pass by her on that street, which she was very clearly not blocking nor obstructing.
Unless ICE is so fucking retarded that they don't understand what this means, which is a pretty universal fucking signal amongst drivers to say like, yeah, you can just go ahead, bro.
because moments earlier, when she first started to pull out, another vehicle started pulling out similarly and crossed in front of her. So she was telling the next one to go on ahead, not posing a threat, not obstructing, nor impeding anything. Would you look at that?
Hey, Asmongold. Seems rather fucking clear, you fucking idiot.
Do is crush them. You crush them completely. You never go, like, after you say, basically after you run one of them over, right? Or you shoot one of them for trying to run you over, then you victory lap around it and you send in more people and you do it even more. That's
You're a fucking freak. Deport him. Yeah, terrorism. He's a terrorist. You are advocating for fucking terrorism. Unironically. Genuinely fucking insane. I guess Asmongold is just okay with a bunch of, I don't know, freaks going around and just, going to his house and forcibly cleaning his house for him. Again, because he's not gonna, listen, he cleaned his room up once. Is he gonna fucking clean it again in months? Probably fucking not, because he's a dirty, miserable little fucking freak. Okay, people should just break into your fucking home then. Do Fortnite L dances on top of you, and then just fucking break in again and do it again. If this is like the sort of position that you should have. If I became king of the world, guess what? I'm going to guide the world police to just break into your fucking home and just, take a piss all over your setup or something, so then you can't fucking stream, you miserable wretch.
the only solution. That you're never going to win these people over. You're never going to explain it to them. You're never going to be like, oh, well, why?
I don't know. People have offered to talk with you about this, and what would you prefer to do instead? Cower in a little fucking corner because you know that you can't defend your positions. Destiny has offered to talk to you about this. Hassan has offered to talk to you about this. Every single time you've been ducking debate offers. Coward. Because you know what you say is inherently indefensible, and you're too stupid to make the arguments.
Why won't you see my point of view? Because they don't want to. Why not just shoot the tires? So that way you make the car unsafe and some other innocent bystander can get hurt indiscriminately because the person didn't follow the law?
Oh yeah, so you should just fucking shoot the driver instead? And can't control the fucking vehicle? Are you fucking stupid? That's a rhetorical question. Yeah, you are fucking stupid. Yeah, shoot the fucking driver in the head who can't fucking guide the vehicle anymore, Asmongold. And that's gonna make bystanders even fucking safe. Stupid. Stupid. He's just stupid. He's just an idiot. He's just dumb.
Nah, bro, you shoot him right in the fucking face. They said to stop the car. They said not to do this. They said to get out. And she's walking around, driving around.
Yep, that's
what are you talking about? Absolutely not. You shoot him right in the fucking head. That's it. Aim for the legs. Yeah, bro. Aim.
Actually fucking insane, dude. He's just a terrorist. He's advocating for fucking terrorism. By the way, I guess we've now figured out Asmongold's sort of position. Just rah, rah, rah. Now keep defending Trump despite the fact that he hated Trump because of the fucking Epstein file stuff. Belief in fucking nothing. Just a psychotic fucking freak. Again, he was okay with all the regime change stuff, despite the fact that he said he didn't like regime change stuff in the past. Protesters, fucking shoot him. Who gives a fuck? Just a psycho. He's just a fucking freak. He's a psychotic little fucking moron who believes in nothing fundamentally. Just a freak. Just a freak.
Aim for the legs. Oh my God. Some of these people not thinking about this at all, bro. In a vehicle, from what I saw, I mean, barely, maybe. He barely got away. And yeah, he pulled the gun on her and he shot her. Yeah,
barely got away. Yeah, dude, totally. Him, like, kind of fucking leaning on the goddamn hood with his hand there. Stupid. By the way, yeah, Twitch. Hey, Twitch. This guy is one of your biggest fucking streamers, and he's just defending a cold-blooded fucking murder. Might want to do something about that.
The thing is, like, how is it even that close? Like, even if you think that, like, that's what happened, what are you talking about? They told her to get out of the car. She almost ran him over.
No. We're doing the excuse of the, she didn't fucking comply with the officers who were, again, in the wrong of trying to, get her out of her vehicle and arrest them. She waved them forward and was not obstructing anything. So, again, wrong. You're just wrong. That is true. They have been banning and unbanning fucking Nina Lynn, who sexually assaulted someone on stream. So, yeah, I don't really expect much from Twitch either.
Are you going to expect somebody to make, you know, a decision like that in 1/10 of a second whenever somebody's, like, actively basically trying to run them over?
Stupid. Like, we've already, like, again, the video, this actively just disproves the idea that she was trying to actively run him over. Again, wrong. He's just wrong. Wrong. He's just wrong. He's just a fucking freak because, again, he sees that it's an upper middle-aged white woman, and Asmongold has talked about how these people are the bane of society in the past, so guess what? He's going to be more psychotic and just come up with excuses to defend the actions of the ICE officer.
If somebody did this to an average person and they shot him, I'd say rip bozo. The fact is, this is just what happens. They told her to get out of the car. Did she get out of the car? No, she didn't. She did something
have to get out of the
that,
car.
I mean,
They don't have a warrant to get her out of the car. She wasn't doing anything wrong in the fucking car. She did nothing wrong. She's just innocent, and they just fucking shot her. Just shot her.
I looked at it, it seemed like to me that, yeah, it's somebody trying to run over a police officer, number one. And number two, she disobeyed.
I mean, this happened to fucking Charlie Kirk, and he complained, said to the administration should go after every fucking goddamn lefty. But, you know, if it happens to a fucking liberal, where they get killed by state violence for literally no fucking goddamn reason, just for minding their own business, then whatever. Actually, we're just going to defend those actions now. He doesn't believe in anything. He's a freak.
A direct order, and who knows what somebody like that is going to do. And this is a big issue that a lot of people don't understand, is that they don't understand the butterfly effect of allowing a person who is a criminal like that to just escape away.
Oh yeah, dude, and not the fucking butterfly effect of just letting ICE get away with criminal actions. Again, you are supporting terrorism. You're a terrorist. You are a fucking jihadist. You just are. You're a fucking terrorist. You're a psychotic little fucking freak who just wants to see a bunch of people get randomly killed because they don't share your political predilections and fucking hate your guts.
In a speeding vehicle after immediately trying to run over a police officer. You don't know if that person is going to run somebody else over, if they're going to lose control of the car, if they're going to...
Yeah, dude, so we should just shoot the fucking dumbass in the head instead. Obviously, Asmongold getting fucking challenged immediately by Hassan in his own fucking channel. Why don't we take a look?
We'll show it.
Show the video, slow motion, and walk us step by step. Show the wheels turning to the right. If someone was trying to kill the agents, their wheels would turn left, not right.
Their wheels would have turned to the left or the right. I don't think that she was trying to kill the agent.
Oh! But you just said she was trying to run him over the whole fucking time! Immediate fucking fold. Immediate. Okay. Nice meme. A fucking moron. Stupid. Like, you want to make this initial fucking argument and then immediately fucking fold. Instantly fold. Pathetic.
I think that she didn't care whether she hurt the agent in the process of her escaping.
Oh, so you don't think she was trying to kill the agent? Because that's not what you were saying earlier.
Liar. Just like every other fucking conservative propagandist. Liar. He's a fucking liar. He's a lying piece of fucking shit. Liar. He's a fucking liar. This piece of fucking shit. This miserable fucking roach little piece of shit. This subhuman. That's what you call people like fucking Asmongold. Why don't we get into some of the Democratic reactions? Because we all know what the conservatives are doing. They're defending this. Of course they're defending this. Because, again, they're saying, like, we can say that it's a tragedy, but at the same time, what the actions of the driver was doing was fucking incorrect. So it's like, we've taken a look at the video twice at this point. That is just a fucking lie. They're lying, and they know that they can probably get away with it because they're fucking moronic sort of dipshit, like, fans are all cultists and are not going to look into any of this.
So, Congressman,
because like I've said before, at the very least, the Minnesota AG, Keith Ellison, throws the fucking book at this guy. I want to fucking see a manhunt. I want to see a fucking show trial. And at the very least, Democratic politicians, if they are running for the primary in 2028, if they do not talk about at the very minimum, abolishing ICE, disqualified. If the presidential candidate does not talk about abolishing ICE and actually following through with the abolishing, you do not vote for them. I will actually say this specific, if you live in a swing state, do not vote for them. Do not vote for them. The Democrats have proven at this point that they are wholeheartedly incapable of giving much of a shit at all about their fucking constituents. It's time for them to suffer. This is wholeheartedly unjustified. And if you let them get away with this, this is a permission structure that you are going to be allowing, specifically, DHS and ICE to just carry out random fucking murders on people. You abolish ICE. Period. End of story.
What's your reaction to the shooting death in Minnesota by the ICE agent this morning?
I saw the video. I was disgusted. I was horrified. That ICE agent needs to be arrested and he needs to be prosecuted. He needs to be put on trial. We cannot have a lawless agency continue in this country the way they are. There needs to be accountability.
And do you think it's time to start taking a look at the Homeland Security budget, for the next year?
Absolutely. I mean, we're giving $150 billion to folks who are acting lawlessly. They're going and separating kids from families. They're shooting people in an excessive use of force. They have harassed a lot of people, including American citizens. They became American citizens, and they are treating immigrants, even if they're undocumented, like they are not human beings. I was just actually at a nice facility, the California City Immigration Processing Center. Let me tell you, I met with 47 folks detained there. They had rocks in the food they were given. One person who had blood in his urine was not able to get a medical appointment for days. They were talking about shivering because they didn't have clothes to keep them warm. Some wanted to have voluntary deportations, and they weren't being able to get voluntary deportations.
Concentration camps. That's the point of this. Just concentration camps. Yep, murdered an American citizen. These people, they're demons. They are just demons.
Because of the backlog. They said we are human beings, and yet we're being treated like animals and murderers. Something is fundamentally wrong in this country in how we're treating people. It's against the Christian faith. It's against our founding values.
What facility was this?
This was the California City Immigration Processing Center. I went, one of the first times a member of Congress has been able to go in with staff, and we talked to 47 detainees there without any supervision, where they shared their experiences. I mean, it was horrifying. They said no fresh fruit. They've never given fresh fruit. They only get no snacks, no ability to get clean water. They often were complaining about the water. I mean, that they were literally treated like murderers and prisoners.
And last question, do you agree with some of your Democratic colleagues that what we've seen here in Minnesota today was a homicide?
It was a murder, and that's what the colleagues, that's what the video said. And of course, I believe in due process, and that ICE agent should have a trial, but he needs to be arrested and face a trial.
Thank you, Congressman.
At the very least, yeah, arrest. I want to see charges. I want to see the fucking guy get arrested, right? I don't know. Is this AOC also talking about this? Let's see.
And the speaker and some others have said that this driver was weaponizing her vehicle. What do you say to that?
I think that they're editorializing of this event to justify a public murder is disgusting. It is horrifying. And watch it for yourself. Watch it for yourself.
Oh, she's just correct there.
And prosecuted. What we saw today was a criminal murder a woman.
I don't know if it was in the clip, but Asmongold called the driver a mentally ill female and then justified murdering more women. Okay, yeah, like, report. Give me the fucking VOD. I'm also reporting it, Boy Meets Minnie.
And shoot her.
Put it in chat.
While she was trying
report
to
it.
escape and flee for her life. And I think
that is just unjustifiable. Of course he would say. And by the way, honestly, peak fucking cowardice as expected by fucking Asmongold, he would immediately, and I mean fucking immediately, just back off of it after being called out on it. Of course, as always. If she was such a mentally ill female fucking driving, by the way, Asmongold, why the fuck would she turn her wheel to the right to try to avoid hitting the fucking ICE agent? She's so mentally ill. Psychopath.
Of every American's worst nightmare, which is their government turning into a tyranny.
Do you believe he should be arrested?
I mean, pretty consistent there by OC. She's saying like, yeah, this is bad. An ogre. Why don't we take a look?
What happened with this ICE officer and the shooting in Minneapolis? I mean, you've been supportive of the work of ICE over the past year. Are you the right fault here?
I mean, it's devastating. I mean, it's absolute tragedy. My heart goes out to her family. I mean, I don't know the circumstances. I haven't seen the actual video, but a life is lost. I mean, it's a tragedy, and absolutely. And you know, my views. I support ICE about deporting criminals. I don't support and understand if you want to target otherwise hardworking people. I don't support that. I never have on that. I remain pro strongly immigration, and that's never going to change. So here we are now, where a woman's dead, and that's tragedy. And you know, we'll know the circumstances. I'm not going to make any judgment other than just express my sympathy for the family. I mean, just what a tragedy.
The mayor of Minneapolis said that ICE should get out of their city. Do you think they should get out?
I mean, I'm not that close to the kind of violence and the tragedy, so I don't want to judge that. But for me, I think it's all probably always more helpful to turn the temperature down and just withhold, the kinds of extremes to say, hey, like, let's everybody.
That's not going to happen.
Turn the temperature down, honestly. Whether that's coming from like some kinds of the rhetoric from Secretary Noem or the president, or whether the mayor or governor. It's like, really, let's just turn down the temperature, and we can't forget someone's lost their life.
I don't know about. Not the worst thing from fucking John Fetterman, about what I expected.
So, Congressman, any reaction to the tragic shooting death of the woman in Minneapolis by the ICE agent?
It is absolutely horrific, and my thoughts are with the family and loved ones of the woman who was killed. And we've been through this in Virginia in 2017. U.S. Park Police shot and killed Bijan Gassar, who was unarmed and driving his car after an investigation. The Department of Justice refused to press charges against those police officers. They were, however, indicted in Virginia, in Fairfax County, by a local prosecutor. So that option exists under the law in Minnesota as well. There has to be a full investigation of this incident. The video is outrageous. I can think of no justification for the killing of this unarmed woman. There needs to be an investigation, and if that investigation
pretty clear,
there should be charges filed against the ICE officer involved.
Is there anything Congress can do to help facilitate this investigation or gather evidence?
Well, in the Oversight Committee today, we're going to have a vote to subpoena from the Department of Homeland Security all documents related to this shooting. I hope Republicans will join Democrats in voting for that subpoena so we
Nah, it's not happening.
can ensure there's a full and fair investigation of what took place.
Is it time to start looking at, as a member of the Homeland Security Committee, is it time to start looking at their budget, as a means to kind of rein in these rogue agents and the rogue agencies?
Absolutely, 100%. Look, the mass deportation
That's not happening.
Administration has caused chaos.
That's probably more likely to happen when the House inevitably flips over to the Democrats, I think. Like, right now, don't think that's happening. Although, honestly, the current Republican majority within the House is definitely in question here. I mean, there's currently 3 vacant seats.
And violence in communities across the country. It's also diverted resources from doing real investigations into child sex trafficking and gun trafficking. It needs to come to an end.
Okay, thank you so much, Congressman.
All right.
This is true. I mean, overall, like, it's fine rhetoric here, but, like, need more aggression.
Cities.
And do you believe that it was a murder like some of your Democratic colleagues have been saying?
I don't know yet, but it sure looks like it.
Okay.
I mean, if that ain't a murder, I don't know what is.
Got it. Thank you, Congressman. Yep.
Succinct, very simple. That's pretty good. I think that's Seth Moulton. He's trying to run for Senate, I think, against Ed Markey. Seth Moulton. It's not exactly the greatest. I think this guy's a Republican. I don't see any of this. You're going to see George Soros spending millions getting everyone Of course. Whoa, we're going to talk about George Soros paying protesters millions of dollars in order to riot. Okay, very cool.
What took place, I don't like it. I don't like any of this. Because what you're going to see now is you could go back down to 2020, you could see rioting. I'm sure George Soros is probably spending millions of dollars getting everybody ramped up in major cities across the country. And tonight the rats are coming out.
Yeah, yet Miriam Adelson and Elon Musk buy out the entirety of the GOP. Okay, bro. If we want to do, if we want to pit Jewish billionaires against one another, okay, how about Miriam fucking Adelson giving millions of dollars to the fucking Trump administration, along with Sheldon Adelson, to have Israel policy be enacted?
Now, I'm just telling you, I think the rats are coming out tonight, and you're going to see some civil unrest in this country. Tim Wells, I highly recommend you put a warning order for the National Guard. I'd get the National Guard deployed immediately. I would deploy it because I think it's going to get a little ugly. Because this is, in my humble opinion, this is what the left wants. They want destruction. They want everybody just to go out there and start raising hell. They talk about.
Look at this fucking schizophrenic freak talking about Jewish billionaires while holding a fucking cigar. Like, get the fuck out of here, you stupid moron. Like, oh yeah, dude, George Soros is going to be the main guy. Like, he's going to pour in billions of dollars to, I don't know, basically cause a fucking ruckus. Congressman Nels, I assume, is a Republican.
About peaceful protests. You're not going to see peaceful protests from the left. You're just not going to see it. You saw it in 2020. Look at what we burned down buildings across the entire country.
This fucking says the guy who's a part of the party who did January 6th. Okay, bro.
For months. Shameful.
Do you think I should leave Minneapolis like the mayor wants?
Well, let me tell you something. With all the waste, fraud, and abuse, we need to send Doge and everybody in that entire state because of the corruption you've seen with the Democrats. All I'm saying, maybe it's a little bit. I mean, we lost a life there. Right? There was a loss of life.
Fucking stupid moron, but I would expect no less from the I mean, again, so it's a fucking Texas Republican, of course. I mean, as expected, complete fucking freaks. Why don't we take more look? I believe this is Dan Goldman, who's getting challenged by Brad Lander.
Invading our cities, using excessive force lawlessly with new agents without proper training.
He's a piece of shit, by the way. Like, completely captured by Zionist lobby.
And sadly, this was not unexpected, but it is egregious. It was an outright murder, and the fact that the administration is trying to defend the ICE officer when everyone can see with their own eyes that car was trying to get away because it still turned away from the officer after she was shot in the head. So the fact that they are arguing that somehow this is domestic terrorism, much less an attack on ICE, is preposterous. This officer not only needs to be fired and suspended, but based on the video, he needs to be charged with murder.
Do you think that will happen?
I have no idea what will happen. You need to look at that on security.
Well, it should fucking... I mean, that's not going to come from... There's not going to be any federal prosecution, and the administration's definitely not going to do anything. Yeah, he would deny the murder of Hind Rajab. That's true, Boy Meets Mini. But Minnesota AG should bring in fucking charges of murder. Abso-fucking-lutely. I mean, I think it's pretty fucking consistent here by all the Democrats here. Most of them are saying, like, yeah, this is bad, and it's just outright fucking murder. As expected from all these fucking conservative fucking freaks, they will, as soon as the body's not even, like, cold or whatever, still hot, whatever, they're just going to make memes about this and just defend the actions of the administration. For what purpose exactly? Because they're just freaks. They're freaks. All of them are fucking freaks. And I really do hope that the book gets thrown onto him, right? You have to be aggressive here. You have to be willing to sort of vice signal and just be like... I think even Hakeem Jeffries said, and had a good response to this, saying, like, this was just fucking murder. Like, unironically, they just fucking murdered her. ICE just murdered her. Like, let me get this, like, real quick. Here, even fucking, deer in the headlights fucking Hakeem has said this, saying, Kristi Noem was a stone-cold liar who has zero credibility. Good thing that he's saying this. This is just a fact. She's just a liar. There's nothing to suggest the shooting of an unarmed woman in Minneapolis has justified this heinous killing. Must be criminally investigated to the full extent of law. Pretty succinct. I don't know. Just he has said that, like, yeah, there's no justification for this. This is insane. And again, like, just to say, simply put, this motherfucker should be remembered. Do not forget his face. Do not forget him. Everything he has done is illegal. He has blood on his hands. Same with Nick Shirley. Blood on his hands. And all the motherfuckers that are justifying the actions of the administration of ICE here are all psychotic fucking freaks. They just want to run around and murder people. I guess Asmongold did get the exact fucking world that he wanted. This is exactly what he fucking wanted. Might makes right, violence for everyone, and it's just law of the fucking jungle, baby. If this guy does not get the fucking absolute book thrown at him, as he should have the book thrown at him, then what is the point of defending the Republic of the United States of America? It has fallen. The rule of law doesn't fucking matter. Nothing matters. And this is just going to cause basically just a permission structure to be put in place by the Democrats if they fail to do anything about this. Because again, this is a fucking opportunity for them to vice signal and talk about, like, what the administration did here is just inherently fucking barbaric. Attack them. Attack them. Do not relent and make them eat shit and suffer. Because what they did is just inherently unjustifiable. Everything is just... You can't fucking justify the actions of the ICE agent in this particular instance. He's a terrorist. This organization is full of terrorists, and all these people are charlatan little fucking freaks. There's only one way forward, and that is to throw the book at this dumbass motherfucker and throw him and all of his associate little fucking weirdos in a hole and throw away the fucking goddamn key. I don't think there's really much else to say besides, you are going to have to own this one, Republicans, for you motherfuckers are trying to defend the indefensible.